In the previous video, we looked at finding an angle using the sine rule for the acute case. Okay, now we're going to be looking at the obtuse case for the second part of this video. Now we've done a lot of the legwork in part A, so this one here will be simply repeating the same process but using only the obtuse case in this case. So off we go. Our first step in using our sine rule to determine an unknown angle is to label the sides A, B, C. Then we label the side lengths after labeling the vertices, small a. Our next step is to identify which sine rule we'll use. Well, in this case, we've got our A's and our C's. So, making sure you've got sine A on the top, okay, and if you want to double check, we're using this equation over here. So sine A over small a is equal to sine C over small c. We'll go through that now. We sub in our values. In this case, big A is 40 degrees, so the angle is 40 degrees, and A is 4 is equal to sine theta over 6. To rearrange, times both sides by 6, okay, and then we take the inverse sine. Now, I'm not going to do that in this case. I'm just going to use my class pad. So, from our previous equation, I already have this set up. So let's just swap out our variables. Now in this case, we've got sine 40 degrees, so I'm going to replace that with 40 degrees on 4, and we have sine, and in this case it says theta. We're just going to use an x for that, just to represent an unknown, over 6. Now over here, we've got the given that button, which is located in Maths 3, given that x, which is our angle here, is in between 0 and 180 degrees. Once you press execute, we get two answers that pop up. We have an angle that's between 0 and 90, which is our acute angle, and we have the angle over here, which is our obtuse case, because it's over 90 degrees. So we're going to choose our angle, which is over 90 degrees, our obtuse case, and we're going to round to one decimal place. 105.38. This 8 will round up the 3, so this will become 105.4. So in this case, theta is equal to 105.4 degrees. If you are having any issues with your class pad, I do know sometimes you might have it on standard mode. Make sure in decimal mode when assessing these. So we've finished part B, the obtuse case. We found theta using our sine rule. If you are getting confused, I recommend looking at the past 2 videos to do a quick recap on the sine rule. Now we're moving on to the your turn. So complete this your turn, pause the video, okay, and then play when you've completed it to check your answer. The your turn will start now. Our first step is to label our triangle and then label the edges. And yet again, we're using A's and C's. Write our equation down, sub in the values, and then plug into your class pad. So my OneNote, is just playing catch up. So while that's working, I'm just going to plug this one in, and I'm just going to reuse that same equation that I had before. Okay, sine x over 12, and we keep that 0, given that x is between 0 and 180. Execute, and we have two answers pop up. Here's our acute case, and over here is our obtuse case. We are only after the obtuse case, so in this case, to one decimal place would be 121 point, and the 0 won't round up the 0, so go 121.0 degrees. And there's our answer.